How's it going, everyone? BrewUnited here with The Adventure of Link, also known as Zelda 2. This was requested multiple times, and it took me about a month to get to it because, those Final Fantasy videos. And if you haven't seen those, check them out here. Those were labor of love. Those are about 20 hours worth of video, gameplay, footage. Took up a lot of my hard drive, and I had to boil them down to about 4 videos, each 30 minutes each. But that's not what this is about. This is about teaching an old dog new tricks. So this old dog got this one packed into about 20 minutes. I didn't do as much. I actually just did the beginning of the video. It brought back a ton of nostalgia for me. Hopefully it does the same thing for you. And a lot of the things I liked about the game started coming back, really quick. But also some of the things I didn't like about the game. I remember those pretty quickly as well. But the great thing about the game is it was a complete departure from the first one. Now, that wasn't initially well received. And I have to admit, when I first played this game, it took a while to get used to it. I said, is this really Zelda 2? Because Zelda 1 was completely different. So it was a massive departure. I actually would like to give a shout out to a comment that was made by Lightsaber Samurai on my last promo video for this one. He brought up that point, and I couldn't agree more. I was like, hey, what is this game we're playing? This is not, the game that I expected. But it was a fun game, especially now reaching back to 1987. And, one thing I did notice is I need to get the gold version of this. Let's see if we can pick that up. But let's dive into the video. Hopefully you'll get the same nostalgic feeling I did. And if you've never seen the game before, hopefully enjoy the gameplay. We'll see you there. Ah, nice. It boots up. Sometimes I worry about my older games when I power them on. It's almost like they're a bit fragile. Probably not as fragile as I think. The cartridges actually, I think, will last till the end of humanity, but some of my disc games have actually shown a little bit of wear. But here we are, The Adventure of Link, Zelda 2. And the music is slightly nostalgic. Oof, except for that key change. Man, what'd they think there? Seriously, what are they doing? A little bit painful. Now we're grooving again. Okay, feel like we're back to normal. Alright, let's get back on topic. Not as much about the music, but that's pretty much all we could see right now. So, if you remember from the first one, Ganon was the main boss, and we ultimately defeated him. And in this one, guess what? Princess Zelda is in trouble again. And the way we have to save her is by getting crystals. Got a flair of Final Fantasy here, but getting the crystals is definitely not as easy as it sounds. So when we start the game, we're at the princess's side as she sleeps, and I'm firing my sword as I jump. Music's kind of right back to the beginning, right? Seems like the first one. And the gameplay, this is where it's really different. So, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, this is radically different than what we were used to in the first one. There was a couple of bits of this when you picked up certain items in the original Legend of Zelda, but not really much else. So something you'll notice is the numbers appearing as I kill things. It's going up to an experience bar up at the top, or experience counter actually. You can see it's 12 out of 50. What I'm going to do is show you exactly what that means, and also how it's important as you play the game. Notice here it's taking 2 hits and just about everything. So I could go ahead and get the life up for 50, but you can also see magic and attack for 100 and 200. The first thing I'm going to do typically in these types of games is up my attack. So I'm going to want a lot more damage so I don't have to hit things so many times. So let's go to the first city here. If you remember my Final Fantasy and also Phantasy Star video, the first thing I like to really understand is how I can get my heals. You're going to take a lot of damage and you're going to want to go back. So if you notice, I don't have the power in the sword anymore like the first game. It won't fire out. So you go in the house here and you can get healed every time. So I keep coming back to the lady here every time I need to get healed, and it's really a rinse and repeat, kind of like any other game. You're going to want to go out and explore, get experience, get new things, but you're also going to want to heal. And in the first part of the game here, this is also something that's a reoccurring theme throughout the game, is they're kind of village elders you need to go visit. So the first one I'm going to visit here is actually going to give me a power that's quite useful throughout the game. And it actually is a damage reduction spell. This background looks like it's straight out of Super Mario Brothers, like I went down one of the tunnels. So here we have the magic that I'm going to receive will reduce damage, and it's really useful. You'll see me cast it multiple times throughout this video. I also have a tendency to try to jump and fire the sword every so often, so if it drives you crazy, sorry about that. Kind of a nervous tick I have. There you go, see me jumping. The other thing to mention is you're going to see a lot of encounters pop up. It's like the encounter meter is off the chart. It seems you can run just a little bit and all of a sudden you're fighting again. So you notice yet again I'm taking 2 hits to take anything out. So that's why I want my first level up of sorts to be based on attack, because I don't like to hit things so many times. Plus, you're going to get hit a lot in this game. So I'm going to be coming up here on 100 experience points, and you're going to see exactly what happens. Is I'm going to originally pick attack and not magic. So yet again, canceled it. So this is an area that if you run into that little tiny bush, you'll immediately get an additional 50, and here we have an attack. So these little pouches will randomly drop as well as they're placed throughout the game, and they have experience points in them. So I got 50 there and was able to get my 200. So I have my powered up attack, and now you'll notice in a little bit that I'll just have to one-hit things now instead of keep hitting them. So let's go back, let's get healed, let's get my sword power back so I can hit things at a distance. And off we go. Let's get that healing up to full, and I can jump and fire my sword again. Woo! And let's head to the next area that we need to go to. So we are going to head up for one more fight and just level a few more skills up. So now that I've got my sword up to 2, you can see one hitting everything. Ah, so much better. So we're going to run back and forth here. This is an early game strategy just to get some more experience points. And you're one-hitting things, you go back, everything keeps respawning. And we'll be able to get that 50, as you can see, in no time, each one of those 2. Also, you'll notice that occasionally, and hopefully I captured this in the video, there we go, you can get 50. So boom, immediately have that, and I'm also all the way on my way to the next one, you can see, with some more fighting. And now we've got everything up to level 2. So I can now one-hit things, I take less damage, and I also, my spells take less magic points. So let's enter our first cave. You can't see a thing except for kind of the ghost of yourself there. But you'll notice here, look on the ground. See those little feet that are walking across? That's the only thing in this cave. So really, you just need to hit that once, because we leveled up, and you're through the cave. And this is an area that is the desert I was talking about. I used to really hate this part. Those things were really mean to me back in the day. So we're going to head straight down here. One of the things we're going to look for is an additional life block. This all feels like a bit like Super Mario Brothers as well, doesn't it? Of course I'd get hit. I need to get healed up before I can fire my sword. I think in this little center part, there we go. Okay, an additional heart. And this guy looks like a mustache. Those are really annoying. Those boomerang guys. They probably have a name. It's boomerang guy in this video. Okay, let's head back. See if we can maybe not get hit on the bridge this time. Okay, so far so good. Come on. Can I do it? Look at that. Okay. Now, We're a little hurt, and I think at this point I'd already lost a couple of lives. But let's go ahead and see how far we can get in this temple. So these are the areas that you will go to defeat to get the crystal. And that actually, I think there's 6 of them you need to receive. And that'll ultimately get the Triforce, which, if you remember from the first game, is the only way you can win. And for complete disclosure on this part, I started out with the original Nintendo controller when I played the game, and I decided I was killing my hands. It's amazing how time changes that, kind of the controller you'll accept. So here's a key. That's going to be needed in a second for a door. So the controllers actually really hurt my hand after you're holding them for hours on end. So I actually switched over to the Retron 5, and I plugged in the Super Nintendo controller, which is more rounded, more ergonomic, and what a difference it made. So my timing actually in part of this video is off. Wow, look at what a noob I was there. Again, wow. My timing on the sword swinging is off because I had to change controllers, and once you get used to one, it's a lot more to... What am I doing here? There we go. And that was the door that we opened up with the key. Thought these dungeons were really the best part of the game. There's lots of different areas you can go into. Picking up certain things will make you go, these guys, you gotta swing low. If you don't swing low, you will not have a good time with them. They'll just sit there and basically hit your shield. Okay, so those 2 guys are out of the way. Yeah, let's not go there yet. I do need to go that way, but not right now. And just a little bit further, there's actually a fairy, and I am in desperate need of healing. One of these guys again, remember? Go low. And straight through is... Yeah, here we go, the fairy. So fairies throughout the game will heal you to 100%. If you didn't know, if you played the game before, you're probably saying, yeah, Brew, I know. But if you haven't played it, you're probably like, oh, that's a pretty good tip. That's what they're for. Again, hopefully my timing is going to keep up here. Good. Doing a little better. There's another key, and keep going. And we're going to have a couple of fights here that will not be easy, so let's go ahead and shield up. If you remember, that's the spell that I got from the first village, and it's a lot easier. You already got hit. The immunity doesn't last long enough in this game. Just a little bit longer. They probably do that to deal with players like me. It'll just take the hit and then take them out. So here we go with another key. You're going to need another key to open a door. And make sure you hit that guy, because that'll give you full magic. Now let's backtrack a little bit. It's an interesting part of the game, and what I want to make sure I do is I give you plenty of gameplay specific to kind of areas that I find interesting. And I think you will too. So let's follow this guy. Hopefully I don't get hit by anything. Shouldn't have said that. First thing that happens, I jump down. And this guy's going to backtrack and do it. I was ready for that one. How about that? Okay, let's go. The fairy's gone. Go all the way down. And I think this guy's called like a tin head or bucket head or something. So if you fight them straight out, you can see they're difficult and challenging, and you're going to get hit. So here I go. I died. Game over. The return again, and great. Okay, so I'm going to show you that I actually die in these games, which I do a lot. And I didn't want to cut that part out. I want to make sure that you saw me having to go all the way back. So this is one of the things that happens. You have to go all the way back to where the princess was when you get killed. I'm going to show you going through this because it's difficult. You can see I don't have a candle. Candle will pick up in a little bit. You get hit by things, you can't see them. But we're going to make it through here. I hope. Let's see what's fighting there. Is that an Octorok? I think that was what they were called. There's a boomerang guy. Oh, in the dark. One of the worst guys, and he's in the dark. And this is something, the trophy, that I'm going to need for the next village. Because I actually get the spell only when I have the trophy. So let's see if we can make it back. Let's pop a shield on, which I probably should have put on when I first came in. That would have been smart, but wouldn't say I'm the brightest. Just the most stubborn. So let's go. Now we have the trophy. We're in this other village. Let's get healed up as well. Because 2 blocks of life is not enough. And I believe there's another person hiding out a little bit further. No, that's not her. But actually, this person gives you, I forgot, this person gives you magic. So right next to life, you can get your magic refilled. So both houses next to each other. So look out for that in the future. So let's talk to this individual. And we have saved the trophy, so we get to speak to another wise person. And the wise person is ultimately going to give us another spell. And this spell actually is a prerequisite before you can get to the next area, because you're going to need to jump like Van Halen. That's sad about Eddie Van Halen, isn't it? If you don't know, sorry, but that's bad news. So jump is fantastic for a lot of things, even fighting in there. Let's go back. It's a little bit of speed warp there to get us back to the temple. And we actually are healed up. And we have a new spell, Jump, which is actually not really useful in this area. So let's see if we can do better than we did the first time. Okay, let's go back down to the bottom. So this is the guy that took us out the first time. Alright, let's see here. I will never do that again. Look at that. 4 hits in a row. Didn't even touch me. Actually, I hope I do it again. That was good. And these guys are pretty easy. You're already at an advantage. Remember, those are the ones you have to duck down and hit. Ooh, nice. 200. Nice. I will take that. Is there anything? I didn't leave anything, I don't think. Nope. Let's keep going. So 200 experience points on my way to 400. So I should be able to get that pretty shortly. So one thing to notice about this guy, wait till he jumps, and then you can run under. Don't rush in like I did last time and get hit. So I'm doing already way better on this area than I did before. So what do I have here? Yeah, let's go ahead and get another life. Because I've already got 3 on my sword. That should be enough to get me through at least this area. And I think there's some tips and tricks you can do where you automatically max out when you get the crystal. So max out kind of everything to 4, and then when you get the final one, you can get 5 on any of your skills. So Horsehead here, maybe that's his name? Should be called Horsehead. Looks like one of those memes where people put on the horsehead and run around and ride bikes and things. But this guy is kind of a... Man, I'm doing really bad at this guy. Oh, if I die here, I'm sorry. Ah, maybe not. Okay, good. I brought it back at the end. So he is gone. Final key. And we are going to head to the area where the crystal is. There we go, get to open that. Guess that keeps you from not running through it and just going to save the crystal without killing Horsehead. That could be the case. Okay, now you notice this will max up to your lowest experience, which would be 700. And if it was higher, we could pick that. But 700 is the lowest, so let's go ahead and level that one. Nah, you know what? Let's save it. I want another attack. We'll save those 700. And we'll keep going. So one thing I did, I forgot to get the candle. So I actually went back and did that. So don't forget the candle like I did. Complete rookie move. And let's see if we can get through here unscathed. Ooh, look at that, right at the end. Dodge the last one with the shield. Should get extra points for that. Okay, notice that we're running through the cave where we couldn't see before. Now we can, and it is actually lit up. So the candle is your friend. Very nice. Yeah, it's only one creature there anyway, so not a big deal. Okay, so earlier we got that extra heart container giving us 5 blocks of health. Let's go, now that we have the candle, to the cave down south here, and let's see if we can actually, shouldn't be that hard, get the additional magic block to bring that up to 5. They really help. More spells, more health. Look at all the fights I'm getting into. Ooh, almost got hit by that one. Okay. So, let's go into the cave. This cave's pretty straightforward from what I remember. Like little pill bug things. I've forgotten all the names. I should actually have looked it up. I feel like I'm doing a disservice to you by not saying the right names. And hopefully you won't overly criticize me. Ah, look at that. Why did I do that? Okay, so here we have the extra... Why did I try to swing at? I'm swinging at everything now. Extra magic. So now we're up to 5 and 5. So at this point, if you remember this town that I was at, we've gotten, I think, everything from the previous area. So we're actually going to transition through this cave to the next area. So we're going to start heading towards where we would get the second crystal. So I think this is a good, near enough stopping point. I think you've got quite a bit of the game mechanics anyway, not actually the complete game. Because, as I said, I don't want to do another Final Fantasy video. I want to make sure that I'm able to keep doing kind of lighter dives into games and talking about what I really like about it. So this game, you know, I really enjoyed later on, not originally, because I was expecting a different game. So here's where the jump thing, just to interrupt there, to dive up. And now we can keep going. And that's basically, we're through the next. So the thing I'd like to mention about this game versus the original game is I think it was a completely new development team, and they were way more ambitious. But did that ambition pay off? I don't know. You can be the judge. I enjoyed the game. Completely different from the original one, but still fun. The Adventure of Link. Thanks for watching this video, and if you liked it, please give it a like. And if you like the content, we'd really love for you to subscribe. See you soon.